How dare you? How dare you? Yeah.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Son of a Boy Dad podcast. Today it is Tuesday, November 19th, 2 p.m. This is coming out on Thursday.
Is that okay?
That is okay.
I think we should draw a line in the sand.
Why?
Well, I think that in the sand of time, that is, because I think that the podcast prior to you and me getting on the right medications versus the podcast after we got on the right medications is going to be night and day.
I think that there is an inflection point, but I think that the inflection point is when we realize that our entire listenership is blind installers.
You know, you're absolutely right, Roan.
That was the thing that changed.
Sass said, statistically speaking, it's beyond belief that even one single listener of our podcast knows how to install electronic blinds.
I think we're going away from the fact that I meant in New York City.
Oh, well.
Yeah, no, I got a bunch of DMs too. You don't have to show me your DMs.
I said the tri-state area for what it's worth, which includes New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut.
I'll count that. I think I did say within driving distance of New York.
I saw so many comments. I got so many DMs, not just from people that knew how to do it, but people who were so good at it that they've managed to start their own businesses
on just
installing electronic blinds. Some of them were even able to hybridize and learned how to do speaker installation as well. Yeah. Now, learning that was frustrating because if I'd known that, I could have done it all in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
Fucking Deion Sanders over here, fucking playing in both leagues.
Yeah,
that's right.
I honestly think that if you can install electronic blinds, anyone that I think anyone that can install electronic blinds can install a speaker system.
So you're saying that's the hardest thing?
I think that's just an insane take. That's
why is that
true.
crazy? You said that the blinds were much more confusing than the speaker.
Look, I don't think that is just a natural, easy skill to pick up once you've mastered the art of installing speakers or blinds. That the other one's the next one. I just think it so happens that we have a lot of really talented people who listen to the podcast who coincidentally we're both very good at installing blinds and speakers.
I think it's time that we pivot, though, to a full-time blinds podcast.
That's right.
And I have a question from Joe in Delaware, and he's saying, do you think that it is a must to have your 100% blackout smart roller blinds be compatible with your Apple HomeKit Google Home? Or is it okay if you can just hook it up to your Alexa via hub? And that's what I'm trying to think. If you're going to go with smart, which is going to be the future of the home blinds, that you're going to want to have it compatible across the board because you never know who's coming into your home and you never know what your next technology swath is. And with the accessibility, especially at your big box stores that you're going to be able to have for all your raw materials, I think that it's a no-brainer to make it as technologically savvy and as, smooth, just the full installation.
I agree.
In for a penny, in for a pound, I think is the answer.
Francis, are your blinds, are they, how do you control them?
I have a little remote.
No app?
No app. I could get the app. Joe keeps telling me to download the app.
So there is an app.
There is an app, but I like the clicker.
No, I think you need to get like an Apple Watch and then like sync up the app with the Apple Watch.
You know why I'm not going to do that, Hairball?
Why?
Because I have committed to not bringing my cell phone into my bedroom at night when I go to sleep.
What the hell? You really don't do that?
I leave it out. I leave it out in the kitchen.
Can't relate.
I don't want that screen around. I want to my bedroom is a sanctum. It's a sanctuary for reading, knowledge, thought, and sleep. That's it.
Can't relate. I want the last thing I see before I go to bed to be John Pork singing fucking Little Tracy.
Maybe one more watch of John Pork.
What's John Pork up to? Singing me to sleep with his sweet lullabies. Look,
I'm on Harry's side. I need to read one more article.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn, dude. I can't do it. I'll never go to bed. The blue light is too much. The
So how do you
stimulus
wake up in the morning?
How do I wake
do you need
up?
An alarm?
A little tiny bit of light comes through the electronic blinds, and that's when I wake up naturally. Natural light is a nice way to wake up.
So did you ask him to leave a crevice?
I think maybe I had the option to do the full blackout situation, which would have been flush to the window, and I opted against that. Joe advised me not to do that, and given his wealth of experience, I thought I should listen to him.
I just think that you have
Understood.
to get the app, obviously, but you need to keep the clicker in case of some kind of cataclysmic event or something like that.
Exactly, yeah.
If there's like an apocalypse or
Yeah.
a zombie
Yep.
event or something like that, and the grid gets wiped out, you want to be able to just
Well, I mean, realistically, if the grid's getting wiped out, you probably won't. That's the biggest downfall of having e-blinds.
It's much like
How are
keeping-
you going to get any shut eye? How are you supposed to get any shut eye when your blinds are not going to go down?
Why wouldn't they go down?
if the grid goes down.
If the
he's
grid
saying.
goes down.
Because mine are on the clicker.
But he's saying if
If the grid goes down, no electronics work.
Mine aren't part of the grid. They're not Wi-Fi compatible.
I'm telling you.
No, I went analog.
You're shocked.
I went one step above pulling them down.
I think he'll have like 8 months of the battery still working or something like
Yeah,
that.
probably something like that.
I
But-
am
but 8
concerned about
months
the
in-
batteries. I am
Yes.
concerned about the batteries. They're battery controlled. Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
and
They
And
so
are.
how,
8
and what
months.
kind of batteries? Does it have normal batteries or has those
Tesla
the
batteries.
discs?
They're made from Teslas.
You got to.
No, it's a super long. It's a super long battery. Joe says it's a lot, like a really long battery life.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, how many times are you putting the blinds up and down every day?
See, not that often.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to get like a beep to the battery when it dies, like a smoke detector, just so you know exactly when it. But those go eerily fast.
They do.
The smoke detector.
I've been
batteries.
having a battle with my fucking smoke alarm because I keep cooking at night and it just keeps. It's so sensitive.
Bro, take that shit down.
I thought about it.
I've took mine. That's the first thing you
Did
do
you
when
actually?
You move in. You rip that thing off the wall.
Did I? Did
Yeah.
you? You're okay with that?
Yeah.
It does open you up to being burned alive.
It does.
in your sleep.
It does.
Which seems like an undesirable way to go.
I will say the apartment across from mine had a crazy fire, and then I heavily considered putting the smoke detector back.
Yeah, but sometimes like the smoke detector is not going to tell you when the fire is coming.
No. It's going to tell you when the whole, realistically, yeah, I'm with you.
You know-
Realistically thinking,
Especially like if
your
it's,
nose is going to know before the fucking smoke alarm
Yeah, or
goes.
like, ooh, my feet are
Oh,
hot.
hot.
I sweat when I have the wrong comforter
Yeah,
on. If my
exactly,
apartment were
exactly.
on fire,
Yeah.
I have to believe I'd be like, God damn.
Yeah.
well, he also is more equipped to escape than you. He's on a first floor.
Oh, yeah, I'm hopping out the window.
He literally can roll and his feet will touch the ground.
I have to brave the flame. I have
You'd
to run
go-
through fire.
Yeah.
And already my dreams are so often dreams of me being engulfed in flame,
Mm-hmm.
you know, running through conflagrations and hellscapes that are filled with ash and soot.
But I think that your problem would
Charred
be
remains of my loved ones.
your dream would come to life and you'd be on one side of the fire, and most people would put like a blanket over themselves to kind of make it through. The only thing you'll have is an Hermes coat or something like that, and you'll be like, kill me, don't
Yeah.
burn the coat.
That will be the one thing I grab on the way out.
But it's like you wouldn't want to run through fire with that on. You'd ruin the coat. That seems like more of a nightmare than your actual nightmare.
Realistically thinking.
You're absolutely right, Rowan. To that point, I would say that if that coat caught fire, I would take it off and roll my naked body across it
Yeah.
to put the fire out of the coat.
You could
I
get away
will
with a
be-
3rd-degree burn or two. You could take a pinch. You could take a little bit of a burn.
I'm going to wear those burns proudly.
Realistically thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Apocalypse, terrorist attack, war, maybe a nuclear attack. You have 1 minute to get things out of your apartment. What are you taking?
It's so tough for Francis.
No,
It's got to be
no.
tough for.
No,
I think it's going to be significantly more tough for both of you guys than me.
Why?
There's really only two things that I like.
Yeah, but I don't have that much stuff I like either. I'd take like pictures and like.
True, I guess your apartment is very modern. You do have to you're not going to grab the shapes. You're not just going to be grabbing the fucking random sculptures that you have.
Yeah, just the strange like books about home decor.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
one fucking wants that shit. Make the fire go faster with that. The Dior home decor book.
You
dude.
might
No
want to
one
grab the
needs that.
70-inch though.
No, bro, the 70-inch fucking can go. I need to upgrade.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm about to start the fucking fire just so I could, like an insurance claim on my 70-inch, just so I can get a fucking 85.
Not a bad idea.
Dude, there's nothing that I would grab.
You
How
wouldn't,
sad
get
is
you
that?
wouldn't take a single thing.
What
Why
about all your
would-
clothes? What about your nice
All of
investments
it's
of clothes?
all of it's replaceable. I have no non-replaceable items in my apartment.
Yeah, but like something that you really like, For
Timeless
me right now,
clothes.
for me right now, my Orvis sweater. That's number one.
That's your top.
I had a feeling,
Whole
given that you
item?
wore it yesterday and today.
Yeah, we can run through this as many times as we want. This is just how I am. Like, people are gonna be like, "You've worn that sweater multiple times." I'm gonna wear it tomorrow too. Just a heads up,
And
probably the next day
and
after
Thursday.
that. Yeah,
When you're hot, you're hot.
yeah, exactly.
Why break it? If
I'm not
it
gonna
ain't-
stop
if-
wearing the sweater that I like.
Don't fix it if it ain't
Yeah.
broke.
Why break it if it ain't fixed?
Yeah.
Right? I have to stop eating these gushers. They're so fucking good.
Natural gushers right here, brother. Begging you.
Fruit really is natural gushers.
Dude, I read something that if you have like a smoothie in the morning, that it will it makes so you don't have cravings for sugar later in the day.
I had a gusher last night.
One,
She ruined my bed.
very funny. Very funny.
You want to talk about putting out fires?
I think I would grab my PlayStation. I wouldn't grab my monitor because those are cheap and you can always replace those.
Why the PlayStation? Isn't all your stuff
Because
like,
I'm
saved to, like, a
assuming I'm going to have
cloud?
to relocate that night, right?
You're not going to
Like, what am I going to do that night? Like, I'm still thinking of the day.
Yeah, GameStop's probably not open.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, what if there's an attack in New York, but then all my friends live in Colorado? Like, they're going to be gaming that night. I don't want to have to miss out on the session.
Or
Because
you're
they're
gonna
on
ju-
mountain time.
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't want to miss out. So yeah, I'd grab my
I'm picturing you in a tinfoil blanket in the fucking shelter, just fucking playing some duos.
exactly. Yeah. So I'm definitely grabbing the PlayStation and I'm probably grabbing my fly rod.
And your current sweater.
Just sass in the fucking whatever the New Orleans Saints dome after Hurricane Katrina on a bed. Some little kid. Have you seen my mom? Not now, bitch.
I got a
Play
kill
Black Ops
streak.
6.
How many items am I allowed to take?
Well, I think that the rod should count as a different category because that's to repopulate the earth and that's sustenance.
That's survival gear.
Yeah, that's not like you're saving in
Yeah.
a family heirloom, like a China set or something like that.
Okay. So I've got to narrow it down. Also, I'm at an advantage because my apartment is much smaller than your guys. So all of my items are within arm's
I don't
reach
think
at all
your
times.
apartment's that much smaller than mine anymore.
You got to go.
You haven't been to
Francis'
my new apartment. It's really
Is
small.
it tiny?
It's modern, but it's.
I mean, I've seen,
compact.
we've done like Zoom episodes and I've seen the background and like already.
No, I
just
don't think
up.
I've ever recorded an episode from my apartment.
Well, I know we have.
No, I've probably done it from my place upstate.
Your kitchen island.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's massive.
That might have been what it was.
Yeah.
Your kitchen island's huge.
Pretty good, decent-ish.
Really good size.
I mean, I don't
Island.
even know why we're compared. So you think your apartment is smaller than mine, but you have a kitchen island.
No,
Have you
big
seen
one.
my kitchen? If that's what you would even call it.
Your
have you seen my
apartment.
corner?
No, don't get me wrong. Your apartment's smaller, but it's not much smaller. It's not a huge advantage smaller. In fact, I probably have less stuff in my apartment than you do
Probably, yeah.
because I've only lived there for a few
You got a little
months.
Puerto Rico in the middle of yours.
I got a little Puerto Rico in mine.
a trash island.
Now, I actually don't have a lot of trash in my apartment. Did a great clean this morning. That's why I was late, actually.
We got to get a guy who hides wires into your apartment.
Or a
Dude, some of
cleaning
the
lady.
people that responded are the jobs of the people that listen to our podcast are amazing.
Yeah.
We can pretty much anything we need help with, we'll pay, of course, for the services, but there's something for everyone out there.
I want to look at the comments.
I like one comment said this dude said he was the Secretary of Defense. I was like, damn, that's such a fucking crazy flex at the Secretary of
There's
Defense.
4 upvotes on that one, too.
I know.
That's,
So are they secretaries of defense of different countries, or like? So we have a bunch of secretaries of defense that listen to our podcast, or is it former secretaries of defense? That's what I was kind of stuck on.
All right, I'll pick a couple. See, the problem is like we said to upvote if you have the same job. We have like 75 people that commented accountant. Listen, please.
Follow the rules. We do not ask for much on this show. We really do not ask for much on this show.
All right, we got a
straightforward.
welder.
Welder's cool.
Welder's cool. We got an environmental engineer.
That's cool.
What is that?
They probably pick up. They like scrub down seals like
Yeah,
oil slicked penguins.
Or they install wind turbines, or they solar panels, could be stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or they probably work in an office.
It could be, Rowan might be right. Maybe they do water purification stuff. Who knows? Could be a number of things.
Landman, oil and gas in parentheses.
That's cool. I had no
think-
idea that was under the title of Landman.
A landman, that sounds like fucking There Will Be Blood.
I know. I know.
That
There
sounds
could
like
be so many jobs that fall under the category of Landman.
a landman.
Landman is a lot. Yeah.
That's a more modern term than landlord.
Yeah, a landman could definitely install some electric blinds.
No, they like outdoor wires, I think, is
Yeah,
more their
yeah.
thing. I bet that they put up power lines or some shit.
Dude, I got hit up by a guy who works for a very prominent sports gambling company, and he's a line setter.
Really?
Ooh.
Man, tell him to like make Derrick Henry plus 110 this week to score a touchdown. Like, just let the boys eat.
Mhm.
Yeah, for the family.
I mean,
He could
maybe
feed
do something.
nations.
It's like minus 300.
Of course, the one time it happened, he wouldn't score. But I thought that
Joe
was actually
Mixon
really cool.
was like minus 200.
Bro, Joe Mixon is God.
Did you bet on him to score 2 touchdowns?
I did not, but I have him on
I
a
did.
fantasy team.
Oh yeah, he's God. You're the best fantasy team in the league.
Me and
or you
Brandon.
Brandon. Brandon is.
Me and Brandon are going really head to head, and I think he might beat me.
He's incredible.
Well, I mean, he's got Gibbs and Montgomery.
I started strong, and then all my players got injured, and I didn't know what to do. So
Yeah, we
I
talked about this
gave
when
up.
you weren't here, and it's very frustrating.
No one tells me how to
All of my
play fantasy
half
football.
Of, what do you mean?
You
no one
guys
needs
didn't
to tell
advise
you.
me. I've never done it before. I came in blind. He helped me for 1 week, and then everyone went quiet because I started winning.
Yeah.
So everyone
Dude.
gave up. I won all my first. I was number one in the league, and then I
Rashi
stopped
Rice?
trying because I
Yeah.
didn't know what to do.
He had Rashi Rice. I had Stephon Diggs. Like, we've all had players.
Look,
that have
I've had
gotten
Mushy
injured.
Rice lots of times. I don't know why we're bringing that up. I have fucking the best player in the league,
Who?
McCaffrey. And now he's
Christian
hurt.
McCaffrey.
He's not the best player in the league,
I have some other great players,
dude. No, you really don't. You have Aaron Rodgers, who sucks. You have Justin Tucker, who's washed.
Neighbors,
Neighbors, who has the worst quarterback in the NFL, throwing to him.
but he was really dominant. Look, I won my first like 4 or 5 matchups.
No,
Yeah, I was number 1 in the
No.
league.
I know you didn't.
Oh, mate, I think
That's
you might have.
actually
I think
true.
you were
I
3 and
won
0.
3 and 0,
He was
4 and 0,
3-0.
maybe 4 and 0.
3.
But-
3 versus 5 is a big difference.
I was 4 and 0.
It was him against Mook this week.
Yeah,
the two,
and
our
Mook
two bottom
barely got
feeders.
by.
Yeah,
Mook beat me.
yeah.
I don't even know how to log into the app anymore.
You switched phones now. You can't log in.
It kicked me out.
See, this is what's frustrating. Is
Tampering.
when you do the league and you don't play, it ruins it for everyone else.
You need to tell me what to do. I
I
don't know how to
don't,
replace
though.
players. I don't know how to fucking trade.
Dude, it's
I don't even know the buttons.
app is literally built for people who are stupid. Like, fantasy football is meant for retarded people.
What
It's for
about-
people to sit in their basement and be like, I actually probably could be a good GM because my fantasy team's pretty solid. Like, it's the easiest interface on
I
the
don't know
planet
that
to
I
use.
asked you
click-
guys to include me in this. I've never played before, and I
Dude.
said I'm not interested. I don't do fantasy football.
No, I said, would you do it? And you said yes. And then I said, but if you do it, you have to do it.
That's not what happened. There's
I'm
no way that
so-
what you're telling me is true. It's just not true.
I'm
you just
so certain
are a
because
liar.
Roan, did I not say I said this?
There's got if you said it, there's record of it because you would have said it on this podcast.
I know for a fact. I said if you do it, you have to do it, and you gave up.
He gave up. That's okay.
All my players got
What-
injured. What do you want me to
then
do?
you have to
They
get
all
new
died.
players.
My team died.
You have to get new players.
How?
You
No
go
one
to you
t-
click the massive
They're all
thing that
gone.
says available.
They're all gone.
All the players are gone.
They all got taken.
You click the massive button. It's literally there's 3 buttons.
We're like
One of
100,
them is
90% of the way through the season, and everyone's injured. There's no one left available.
What you got to do is you got to have some guys cross the picket line, like in the replacements. You know what I mean? You need to get like some FedEx drivers and guys who played in NFL Europe to come populate your squad.
Dude, Dana and I shot with Justin Pugh last week, and he,
Former Giant,
yeah,
former Cardinal.
say I played for the 49ers, I think.
Did he?
No, you're right, Cardinals. And he told me that, he played last season and then retired, but that he's been getting calls
to play in the NFL.
To come in now, week 10 or whatever. Come back. Be our backup left tackle. He hasn't kept his weight up. He hasn't lifted. He hasn't been keeping in football shape.
But that didn't stop Will Compton.
I said, how long would it take you to get back into shape to step on the field and be a meaningful left tackle? He's like, I don't know, a week or two.
Yeah, I mean, but those guys, they get picked up and then they get cut like weekly.
But he's saying he's saying that once you're a 10-year player or whatever he was, you can get back into football shape in a week.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
It's pretty fucking cool that they can just get picked up for the playoffs, go out there in the playoffs,
Yeah.
and then make game checks and stuff, and like be on the sideline for the playoffs after goofing around for a lot of the season.
Probably don't have to play much.
It was my impression.
It probably doesn't feel like. What if you win the Super Bowl? Like, remember that scene? Is it in Band of
fucking
Brothers where
awesome.
the guy has the purple heart on, and they're like, "Where'd you get hit?" Remember that? Because like, do you remember that scene in Band of Brothers?
Well,
Or
the
is
guys that
Pacific?
came in at the very end of the war, the replacements.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
replacements.
Yeah,
The
and everyone's
replacements,
like,
yeah.
"You didn't earn those fucking pins.
Right.
You didn't earn those stripes."
It's a ring is a ring. They give them to the fucking secretaries and the janitors.
They do.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
When I was at the Eagles game, like all the salespeople were showing me their rings.
That's so stupid.
I bought OJ's old ring on eBay
It's probably a good deal.
when
How
he was
much
trying
was
to
it?
pay for his legal bills.
$50,000.
I was thinking 30,
Not as much as you'd think. Couple Hermes coats.
Did you actually?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say that would be awesome.
Also, I don't think I've ever duped you.
Yeah, that
Well, the way you said it was very nonchalant.
I'm working on that.
was a first dupe.
Good dupe.
That
It
was,
was a
great.
decent dupe. I'll take it. It wasn't bad.
Pretty good dupe.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
One for Francis. You got to dupe him next. You got to before the day is out. Before the sun has set, you will dupe Francis.
Dupes of hazard.
He duped me, but you still are on my shit list.
For the fantasy?
Yes,
You're going to have to let that go.
I'm not going to.
Nobody cares.
All I want is like a competitive fantasy league.
Then you needed to
and we're
create
there.
a prize.
We're there. Like everyone's
and
into it.
stakes. You would have needed everyone to pony up.
But
a certain amount of money.
everyone else has been playing
No, they're not.
competitively except for you.
don't. You think they
Ron,
are?
am I
They're
wrong?
not. I already
I'm playing
talked to some
competitive.
people.
Everyone's dude.
Mook's
Tyler?
not. Mook is not.
Owen. No, Mook even is. Mook just has a bad roster.
No, Mook's terrible. He had a worse record than Francis.
He's terrible, but he's not like forgetting to start a defense.
Am I
one
beating
week.
Mook when I don't even know
No,
what I'm doing?
You're not.
It was close though. It was close without, and you weren't starting certain players. Like half your team was not participating in the league. How close was it? No, it wasn't close. You lost by 30. But
One
you
week-
started Dak Prescott, who's been out and you started Malik Neighbors. So without those two players, if you started Jaden Reed and Isaiah Likely, you might have won.
See, I don't know. One
You have
week
Jaden Reed and Isaiah Likely
love-
just sitting on your fucking bench.
I don't want them to get
Dude,
hurt.
that's why it
I need to
ruins the
keep
league for
them-
everyone else.
I need to protect them for the playoffs.
Like Jaden Reed scores every single week, and he's
I-
just sitting on your bench.
he's got attitude problems.
It's a disciplinary thing.
We are having some team. It's a team matter.
It ruins it. You know what I could do with Jaden Reed?
I don't feel bad
I could
about
win the
this
championship.
at all.
I could win it all.
I am what I am. What we thought would happen happened.
No, we didn't think this would happen because we have how many people are in the league?
10.
10?
Dude, if you had said everybody pay $20, winner take all, I would be all over this shit. I'd be reading books on it. Speaking of, I get 20 DMs a week from people being like, listen, man, I'm a huge fantasy guy. Can I just do your roster for you? First of all, are these people able to see our teams?
No.
Oh, okay.
How would they be able to see our teams?
I don't know. I don't know where I'm getting these DMs from because I haven't talked about it.
Because I talked about it for 45 minutes when you weren't here.
Golly.
And that'd be hilarious if people could just watch our league
Uh,
if they were tuning in on Sunday.
I'm happy, I'm happy to have someone do it for me. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do it.
Me and Tyler had a great trade the other day.
You made a trade?
Oh, yeah.
Who was it?
We did Ramondre and Travis Kelce for Terry McLaurin and Bucky Irving.
I've been trying to trade with you for fucking months.
But that's a good trade. And to be honest, like it didn't really do anything for either of us. They all suck.
He fleeced you.
Ramondre is probably the best out of that entire bunch.
Yeah, Ramondre and Travis Kelce. I mean,
Travis Kelce
Kelce's
had
fat as fuck.
I had to check Tyler's thing to make sure that Travis Kelce didn't do well. He got 2.6 points this week.
Are you playing? Are you starting him, Tyler?
Yeah.
And who'd you give up?
I gave up Travis Kelce.
No,
and
who did he
Ramondre.
give up?
McLaurin and Bucky Irving.
Ooh. McLaurin, good sell high on McLaurin.
McLaurin, I still have faith in.
Yeah, it could be a good sell
And I
high.
have such a stacked, like Ramondre is good, but I have such a stacked running back team that I don't really need him.
You have a stacked running back team. I have often
The
noticed that.
depth is.
I'll extend an olive branch. I have a confession.
What is it?
I love that sweater.
I know. Dude, I spent maybe an hour and a half yesterday trying to find more sweaters like this. They just don't make
that
them.
sweater.
I think that this is our era of calling out the people in our audience to help us. So if someone can help Sass get some like sweet gear like that, how much would you drop on like more of that sweater? $60 a pop?
Bro, I need 7 of these sweaters.
He bought it for 80. I think he'd pay at least 100.
Would you pay 100 for more of them?
Easily.
Yeah.
So if you you pay $700 for 7 more of those.
Just to be clear, that is an embroidered sweater. Those fish are not screen printed on there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're looking for embroidery. We like the cable knit kind of hybrid cable. Nice, heavy textured, warm but breathable.
But there's a hemline at the like around the nipple line, which that's a very strategic move because it goes from a fabric at the bottom that would grip the titty to a fabric at the top that would conceal the titty.
Exactly.
It's a brilliantly designed
Exactly.
sweatshirt.
Are you wearing 2 t-shirts under
No,
it?
this is one shirt.
Oh, it's one.
Textured,
Okay.
a little textured.
Yeah, a lot
Come
of
on now.
layers.
Come on now.
I respect
Cool.
the hell out of it.
Good for you, man.
I mean, I've been just going on walks just to show off the sweater.
That's how I went. That's what I'm doing. That's why I go walk farther for lunch every day.
You guys keep on running into each other around the block, just going in a circle around the block, bumping into each other.
It is a nice sweater. I'm very pumped on it.
Get this man some more sweaters.
I got another sweater last night, but it's white.
Nah.
That's a
Nah.
mistake.
What's that for, church?
Yeah, I don't know.
Come
It's got,
with
a,
me to
it's
church,
got a
bro.
deer on it.
Okay, that's pretty sweet.
Embroidered?
Embroidered.
Embroidered?
Francis is
Classic.
there for it.
On it
Classic.
today.
Banger.
Francis has 2 up on you.
New meds are fucking killing it.
Did you guys see the dude from Friends who shaved his head?
Joey?
Matt LeBlanc?
Was that who it was?
I think he has mental issues.
Full House. John
Oh,
Stamos.
Stamos.
Yeah, John Stamos. Did you see
no
this?
mental issues. He's just a classic hot guy.
Did you see it?
No.
You haven't seen this?
He's wearing a bald
He's
cap.
wearing a bald cap
All right, let me look it up.
What are we talking about this for?
because he like shaved his friend's head because he
His
has
friend
cancer.
had cancer, and in solidarity, he
Put on a bald cap.
you're supposed to shave it.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. That is right. That's the take.
Isn't that insane?
I absolutely agree.
That's crazy.
And I agree because I remember there were girls growing up
Yeah.
in my school, not my school, but like adjacent schools, who a friend of theirs would get cancer, and then the girls would shave their heads
Yeah.
in solidarity.
Yeah.
Buzz cut.
Mm-hmm.
I
he
loved
just
it.
has like a obvious bald cap on. I mean, dude, that is crazy.
It looks like cone heads almost.
It does.
Like you could see the like poof of where his hair
Yeah.
is underneath the bald cap.
Is the backlash because he didn't shave it himself?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
But
okay.
he's like pretending that he shaved it. It's Dave Coulier is the
Dude,
other one.
You know, that's one of those things where I think if you're famous long enough, you commit a mistake like this.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
You just do something you miss, and everyone
Yeah.
jumps on your fucking back for it.
I mean, that's a big miss.
But
in
he
my
can't
mind.
afford to lose his hair.
No.
His hair is his calling card.
He's like 60.
yeah, but
He
but-
shaves his head. That hair is going to grow back 10 years from now.
Weirdly, his heart's in the right place, right? However, my guess is that John Stamos did not grow up with any girls from adjacent schools who shaved their heads. He didn't know that that was what you do.
No, he definitely did, or else he wouldn't have had the bald cap on.
I think he thought,
I think he tried to pull a fast one and didn't think people would notice that it was a ball cap.
no way.
I
No
think
way.
so.
Not the John Stamos I know.
because there's always tomorrow for John Stamos. They're not going to be like, where'd the hair come from?
Yeah.
I think he thought,
I think he wanted to be a guy who does something nice without actually doing something nice. Like when you see a homeless person, you're like, I should give some money to them, but you don't
Yeah.
give money to them.
I always give money.
I told you guys that I
Most of my money goes to the homeless.
did I tell you that I was eating a pizza late at night? I tweeted
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it. I did tell this on the pod.
Yeah. Oh, no, you didn't talk about it on the pod.
Can you name every single subscription you have? I know I can't name mine. I know that sometimes I'll just be like, oh, I need more storage in XYZ. And I'm like, okay, $19.99 a month until I die.
Oh, yeah. I download an app, I click free trial, and then next thing I know, I have the subscription for 2 years.
And it's insane that you don't go and...
Nothing makes me more angry.
No.
Well, you need to clean it all up with our good friends over at Rocket Money, because I just learned that 74% of people have subscriptions that they forget about, and Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you cancel out your unwanted subscriptions. And the savings, may I just say, are astronomical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they'll even negotiate lower bills for you, and sometimes up to 20% lower, which is pretty sweet of the good folks over at Rocket Money. They have over 5 million users and have saved over $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. Who couldn't use $740? You could get a down payment on some shoelaces, Francis.
I could start investing that to buy myself a new coat.
Yeah, it's the little things, the tiny steps, the baby steps, and then suddenly the Rocket Money is unleashing a new look for you this fall. Stop wasting money on things that you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/boy. That's rocketmoney.com/boy, rocketmoney.com/boy.
All righty, let's talk about BetterHelp. This podcast, Son of a Boy Dad, is sponsored by BetterHelp. This month is all about gratitude. And along with the person I just shouted out, there's another person we don't get to thank enough.
Who'd you just shout out?
Ourselves.
What? You already shouted out yourself, or you haven't got to?
I don't know. I'm a little confused. This month is all about gratitude, and along with the person I just shouted out, there's another person we don't get to thank
who
enough.
did you just shout out?
Ourselves. I guess God.
Have you shouted out God yet?
Just
say you shout out.
It's sometimes hard to remind ourselves that we are trying our best,
and sometimes the person you haven't shouted out yet is yourself.
It's sometimes hard to remind ourselves that we are trying our best to make sense of everything, and in this crazy world, that isn't easy. Here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people in your life, including yourself. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge.
I started talking to the new cleaning lady just to be friendly around the office. But I'm not letting her know that I speak any Spanish. I just don't want to get into Spanish conversations. I want to keep the language barrier up.
Does that have to do with the ad read?
I'm just adding a little spice.
All right. Very confused about what just happened.
This is the most insane ad read of
I've
all
benefited from therapy.
Time.
I've benefited from therapy, and I know that everyone else on this show has benefited from therapy as well.
You don't think having barriers is important?
I guess it is important.
Oh, that's why you need therapy, probably, because you don't know shit about having barriers.
I have barriers, and I think everyone could benefit from therapy, not just me. I think you could definitely benefit from therapy.
I need boundaries.
Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/son today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/son.
I think it's important.
Well, just to back that up really quick, I was leaving Julio's wedding late on Saturday night, and I walked through the village. I was wearing a suit, and everybody was out, and everyone was giving me shit for it.
Really?
It's like we're in New York City.
What were they saying?
Why are you surprised that I'm wearing? They were like, "Nice suit."
Multiple people said that?
Yeah. Looking
Damn.
good, man.
You got clowned on by
I got clowned for
multiple
wearing
people?
a suit.
Dude, walking through the village, when I have to bike home from the stand at night and I have to go down 7th Ave, oh man, you got to just keep your head down and just power through.
Where? 7th Ave and what?
Yeah, West Village, bro.
I'm going down through the village.
The village,
The
bro.
village is a mess. It's
East
filled
Village,
with
West
young
Village.
people who
It's
are up
all
to no
young,
good.
hot people, and they all make you feel bad.
Wait, you're saying you have to keep your head down going by around your apartment?
Yeah.
What?
Bro, it's all just packs of bros.
So what?
I was close to your apartment when I ate
They
the
look at me
pizza
and they go,
on
nice
the stoop.
sweater, F slur.
Yeah.
They call me an F slur. They call me a sweater F slur.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that because the guys that were clowning me were gay.
Oh no!
One
Are you
of
sure
the
they were
guys that-
clowning you?
One of they,
What if they were
yeah,
trying to hit on you?
No,
I don't
they
think
were.
they were
They didn't
clowning.
like. I don't think they liked.
I don't
my
think they were
suit.
clowning.
Well,
They
what? Can we
were.
see that picture of the suit?
I don't know if I have one. Well, I wore it on Fox News once, so I'll pull that up. Back before they
Kicked you off.
canceled me.
But you could probably get back on now.
I don't know.
Hit up Waters.
Back before the leader of Fox News singled out Francis and
Rupert?
said he's not allowed on the
Old
shows
Rupert?
anymore.
Murdoch.
Dude, so really quick. So I ordered my pie and I was waiting for the pie because you got to order a full pie at John's of Bleecker. You can't
Yeah.
get slices. Oh man. Okay. So
You went to
two thing-
John's of Bleecker?
I did. Yeah. So two things happened.
Was there a line?
No, not really. Because it
What
was late.
time was it?
It was late. It was I got there 5 minutes before they closed the kitchen and no one was being seated inside anymore.
What time?
God to be, I don't know.
That had to be like
11:30,
PJ
12?
Francis.
Probably 12.
Yeah.
But there was a guy out front who, some salty veteran employee of this wonderful pizza establishment taking orders on an iPad. And I ordered my pie, and the guy to my right was looking at the famous celebrities in the window, and he saw a picture of Dana White. And he goes, "Oh, there's Dana." And then the guy goes, "Yeah, he was in here earlier today, actually, because it was the night of the John Jones fight
Oh yeah.
at Madison Square Garden." And he goes, he left a $2,000 tip. Biggest tip I've
Jesus.
ever seen.
Damn.
So you figure, I know you love math.
Doxed
Hairball.
his ass.
I do love math.
The pizzas there are $23. Maybe Dana White came in with like a couple of friends or an
Yeah, I probably had
entourage.
the Nelk boys with him.
Yep.
He probably busting with the boys, the
Yeah,
Nelk boys.
yeah.
Let's say they
Logan
ordered
Paul,
10
Jake Paul,
pizzas
Rogan.
just for the sake of math. Talking roughly $250 with tax, couple drinks, $300.
Aiden Ross, too.
Aiden Ross.
$2,000 tip.
It's got to be, $400 at max. Now, he couldn't have even, he probably spent $300 and then.
I think spending. I think he probably spent like $150.
It's like a 600% tip. It's incredible.
Yeah.
money
So,
isn't shit.
Is he
to
a
that kid.
billionaire?
Yeah, I think he is.
Is he?
I think so.
It's got to be close if he's not.
I think he is.
Now the power slap's taking off.
Oh yeah, power's the biggest sport in the world.
Now the power slap is so huge, he's probably gone from an M to a B.
You know, power slap's bigger than NBA, NHL, NFL combined.
Soccer, EuroLeague soccer.
You're not duping me with that.
This is what Dana White said.
I'm not going to be duped. I won't be duped.
No, Dana White tried to dupe
I
the
smell a dupe
world.
when I smelled that dupe from a mile away.
Dude,
3-0 Francis.
Dana White said that that power slap, whatever
Yep.
the fuck it's called, slap league, is bigger than all professional sports combined.
You can't dupe a duper.
Based on, I think he's basing it on like social media shares or something.
Dude, and then like people like looked at their Twitter and they have like 40,000 followers.
Just trying to make the duper the dupee. It won't happen.
You can't name any of the people, any of the stars of their sport.
No, because there aren't stars.
This girl came up as I was waiting for my pie, and she tried to barter with the guy. She was like, "Can we get a slice?" And he goes, "We don't sell slices. We sell whole pies." And she goes, "That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard."
Kind of agree.
No.
And he goes,
I mean,
"Well, we make everything from scratch. It's the way it is." And it is the way it is. They make
Yeah,
the
with
best
Francis.
pizza in the city of New York.
I don't know about that.
By a general consensus, I think a lot of people would argue that John's of Bleecker has the best pizza. Dave gave it a 9.3.
Bro, that doesn't do anything for me.
Ooh.
What?
With your contract and negotiation coming up too.
What?
Dude,
I would have done
so
that.
what's your best pizza spot?
Me and Dave don't like the same kind of pizza.
Okay,
You
doing
like
damage
Chicago?
control.
You like Lou
Damage
Malnati's?
control. What
I
do
like
you
it.
mean?
Yeah, backtrack.
You like Joe's?
back,
You go to
back
Joe's
it up.
if you want a slice.
I don't like any of those.
What do you like?
I like
Emmy Squared?
I like the place that's on the corner of where I used to live.
Lucali?
I believe it's called $1.50 slice. That place has a mean slice of pizza.
Yeah.
I used to go in there, 2 slices, don't heat them up. Don't heat them up. And they go, don't heat them up. And I go, do not heat them up. I want them room temp.
That is better at $1.50
Oh,
because $1.50
so good. So doughy.
it'll scald your rooftop of your mouth, and all the cheese will come off in one fell swoop if you get that heated up even a little.
Especially,
bit.
I used to go there hammered. You're trying to get that food into your body as fast as you possibly can.
Don't heat them up is a veteran move that I've never even considered to be.
Don't heat them up.
So nice.
Take me.
Don't
back.
touch it.
Those were the glory days.
Can I come back and get it myself?
You don't need Klonopin. You just need 2 slices of fucking $1.50
of medium temperature.
Have an exact change for that too. You're fucking the richest man in New York.
So good.
It's the perfect economic exchange. So she's giving them shit, saying that it's ridiculous. And I think you think that they should have to sell dogs.
No, I think it's ridiculous, but I do also agree with what you said. That's the way it is. So that's the way it is.
Yeah.
It's old too.
If that's the way it is, that's the way it is. I'm not going to go in there and say change your entire formula.
Correct. And then she looked at me and she goes, "Did you get a whole pizza?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm waiting for my pizza." And she goes, "Can I buy a few slices off of you?" And now I'm having the argument with a random drunk girl that I have whenever I go on a date with a woman who wants to share shit.
Yeah.
Which is my pizza that I ordered is my serving size. And if I give you slices, I will feel that I have not eaten the amount I wanted to eat. I don't know you.
Is it a medium pie or large?
They do 2 sizes. They do 6 slices and 8 slices, and I went with 6 slices.
Oh, yeah. 6 slices, you can't spare a slice.
No.
But you
6
also
huge slices
No,
of pizza.
not at
So
John's.
big that later I tried to give them to a homeless guy because I couldn't finish it.
Oh, really?
He wouldn't take it.
Dude, that's so much pizza.
They were big. It was pretty big.
But I mean, how many slices did you want?
I don't know. Probably. Look at what matters is that at that moment I was not aware of the size or how I thought I needed. I wasn't ready to give up any slices at that moment. And she goes, "You're not going to let me buy a couple of slices off of you?" And I said, "No." And she goes, "Why not?" And I was like, "Because this is my pizza." And then she goes, "But I don't want a whole pizza."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, do you want me to like give you some money?" I was like, "I can help you. I can subsidize your own pie. I have extra money."
You'll buy this lady a pie for just being a fucking needy woman?
She was complaining about how it's just way too much. And she kept talking to me. It was just being really, really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like minding my own business. And she was like, "Do you live here?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she goes, "What do you do?" And I was like, "I don't know, not much." Because I didn't want to tell her. And then someone came up and recognized me.
Yeah.
And was like, "Hey man, I just want to say I love your work." She was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
that's
she
brutal.
started like negging me and giving me shit. And she was like, because I was like, he probably knows me from the fact that I'm a comedian. And then she goes, "Do you know Andrew Schultz?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I know him." I don't know why I'm telling this story, but it kept going like this, and she kept
I know
giving
exactly what
me a
you're
hard
talking about.
time.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
And I just had to stand there waiting for my pizza.
Yeah.
I think you made 2 mistakes. And here's what I think the mistakes are. Your first mistake was being approachable at all. You have a lightness to your energy that welcomes people in. Your body language was probably open up.
It's the Wellbutrin.
If
You know
Lil
what it
Sass is
is.
out there, he's fucking closed off. No one's going up to you and talking.
No.
You're
Exactly.
shut down. You're either on your phone or you're fucking facing a wall or some
You
shit.
need headphones in.
Headphones.
It's a good idea.
And you need the earbud headphone. You need the wired headphones
And
so people know.
And then you like even if nothing's playing, you'll be like, "What?
yeah.
What?"
And then
What
if
are you
it
saying?
gets really annoying, you take a call.
Yes.
Call somebody.
These are good tactics.
Or you give them a minute and be like, "I'm sorry, I'm gonna call.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm listening to podcasts."
And then like those drunk girls, like their attention span is so short. Like the second that you're like, I'm on a call, they'll find someone else to annoy.
And that brings me to your second mistake. Your second mistake was you didn't have to tell her the truth at all. You could be like, "I'm taking this pie home to someone else.
Then
I'm sharing this with
Yeah.
someone."
the reason I told her the truth was because
Because
then
you wanted to fuck.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I
She
didn't.
wanted to fuck.
A little tiny part of you wanted to fuck.
I didn't. I didn't.
teeny tiny
I was
part
about
of
to
you
eat an
wanted to
entire fucking pizza. I did not want to fuck. Okay.
A teeny tiny part of you wanted to
No,
fuck.
no.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I didn't
That's
want to.
normal.
I didn't want to.
A
I
back
know
and forth
myself.
argument is his love
A
language.
back and forth argument, and he's got the fucking.
Wasn't an argument. It
How
was
about
me
I just
trying to
buy
just
you a
shoo.
pie?
I was shooing her, and she wouldn't let it be.
I think she liked you. Did she?
Yeah, she DM'd me later.
She did.
Especially when she found out that you were a celeb.
Exactly. But it is a brutal technique to neg someone, and it's brutal that the gays were making fun of your suit.
Everybody was on my case
The
that
city's
night.
getting nasty. The
city's
people,
getting
not just
nasty.
the city, the people.
Dude, I speaking of the city getting nasty, I was biking. I'm kind of in the wrong here, but I'm not fully in the wrong. I was biking, and when I go up 16th Street when I'm going to the stand, and then I cut through Union Square,
Mhm.
and I bike directly through the park,
Ooh.
which I know you're not supposed to do, but I go really slow.
I don't know. Yeah, but
I know, like a little bit against the rules. I'm aware, but I go
Very against the
Through
rules.
Union Square?
yeah, but I go really slow, and I make sure I give people like a ton of room.
Why don't you just go around? They have that bike lane that wraps
Yeah,
around
'cause
it.
it's so much easier to just go straight through. And
You're
also,
saving one block. It's one block.
yeah, but it's still easy. And
One block down, a whole avenue, and then another block over.
well, they close it at like 11, so if it's past 11, I do go around. But
Yeah.
I went straight through, and I'm like, I give people plenty of distance, and then as I'm passing by a group of teens, I'm passing by, and one of them goes like that, and I
He bucked at you? No! A team bucked at you?
yeah.
And you fucking scared.
I didn't fall, but I lost control for a second, and then I caught myself, and I just didn't
No
say.
wonder
I
you're
didn't-
scared of 7th Ave,
I
bro.
didn't say anything. I just kept biking.
Did
You
they
got teens
laugh?
bucking at you.
Yeah, they laughed.
They laughed at you, the
Yeah,
whole group?
they laughed.
Did they see it?
Yeah, they absolutely saw it. He did it. Like it was literally like
I didn't know if he was the last guy in line.
Oh no, they were standing like at a bench in Union Square, in like the center of Union Square Park.
Yeah. Mm.
He was,
It was-
you were close enough that he could buck at you though.
Yeah.
Damn.
So you weren't. You didn't.
No,
get that wide
I
of a
really
berth.
wasn't. But it was like his back was like
How big of a buck was it?
it was a big buck.
Like, give it. Can you show us?
Like it was a
10
false
pointer.
start.
10 pointer.
It was a false
He
start.
crossed the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, exactly. Like he came, like he moved to do it. It was so embarrassing. And I thought about saying something, but then I was like, I don't feel like
And
doing
what are you
this.
even gonna say?
Do you wait before you answer that? Do you think that if you said something insane to make them really angry, you could have got your bike going fast enough to get away?
Oh, absolutely.
You're on an e-bike,
E-bike, dude, one pump on that thing, I'm gone.
dude. I still just don't know
Yeah.
though. I don't know.
Teens. I mean, it depends. Were they athletes or were they baggy jean boys?
It was like a mixed group of teens.
So some of them might have been fast.
They
Some of them
prefer
probably
The
fast.
black ones, if you're saying it's mixed.
Biracial.
I actually don't know if there were many black men there.
So there are no
It
black
was
men.
mostly whites.
So mostly white men. But I mean, with the white cornerbacks these days, Cooper DeJean.
True, exactly.
Like you really never know if
You
the
don't
white
know.
guy's fast
Yeah.
anymore.
Drake May hit 20 miles per hour, rushing touchdown.
Yeah, Francis is fast. Francis always wins foot
not 20,
races.
not 20 miles per hour. Fast.
I've run 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, you have.
Yeah, I definitely.
If I
never
were
have.
racing after you for calling me the N-word
Whoa.
on a bike,
I,
I
didn't,
would.
I never would have called them the
You're
N-word.
gonna call them the N-word?
No.
That's exactly what you were going to
pedaled
call
off.
them.
You're like wobbling and pedaled off and screamed the N-word.
That's exactly what you were going to call them.
I was gonna say like fuck you or something like that.
Oh,
then-
real nice guys.
Yeah, I don't know.
Grow up.
Well, that's why I didn't say anything because there's like what
Nothing
is there
to
to say?
say.
They won.
No, he didn't
They
call
beat
them the
me.
N-word because they were all white.
You call them a pedophile.
That's not a bad one.
Pedophile. Say that they're on the pedophile watch list.
Yeah, you fucking pedophile.
A dude was saying that to an auditor that I follow recently, and it was fucking getting under the guy's skin.
Yeah.
He's like, "You're probably just filming everyone because you're a registered sex offender pedophile."
Ooh, that stings.
Isn't that good?
Mhm.
Because all you can do is be like, "No, I'm not a registered sex offender pedophile," and then by the time you're saying that, is send him to the gallows.
You've lost. What is the thing that you would have? What do you think is the single most biting thing that you could have said to a group of white teens to get them to chase after you on a bike? Is there anything you could have done?
There's nothing. There isn't anything. You lose the second. There's literally nothing you can do against the teens.
Does
the
that
second
generation
that they do
get
something?
Does that generation get upset when you insult their mother?
No.
They don't.
No.
What do they get upset about? What's
don't
their
think anything.
What's their sticking point?
Maybe a misgendering.
You think you go kind of anti-woke on them?
Dude, there's literally no, if you run into a pack of teens and they're clowning on you, there's nothing you can say that will be like, I won.
And that's teens and anywhere. And that's not just New York.
No, that's anywhere. What are you gonna say? Like
Nice.
I'm gonna go over to this group of teens and be like, well, actually, I'm more successful than you guys. Like, what am I gonna say?
I think if you called them the F slur, they would have been pissed.
I think they would have been like, oh, you're a big tough guy. Like, dude, there's nothing you can say. They just come back at you 10 times harder.
Yeah,
If I called a white kid,
that's the point, though. You want them to chase after you.
if I called him the F slur, he would then call me the M word, and then I'd be like, I'm just gonna distance myself from this.
Because someone's filming. Someone's definitely has a video camera out.
Like, dude, group of teens versus you're fucked. I have a bit about this that I do when I do the patio at the stand, the outside area.
I have an idea.
Have I told you about this? This happened to me.
I don't care.
Yes,
I'm going to do it because the patio shows are over and people won't remember by the time the next patio shows happen. But when I'd say the joke every time I do the patio at the stand, it's outside of the stand. And it's literally just right on the sidewalk of 16th Street.
Mhm.
And the way it used to be set up was you'd be sitting there with the microphone and then the crowd would be like 10 feet back. So people would just walk through the entire time. They just walk right in front of you as you're doing your set. And I was doing a set. I was doing fine. This was probably 2 or 3 years ago. And a group of teens start approaching. And I see them approaching and I'm like doing a joke. I think a joke didn't really work that well. And then they all pass and then one of them stays literally like 3 feet in front of me, turns, looks at me and goes, ha, ha, ha. And then that was it. There's nothing I could do.
Nothing you can do.
What you have to do is like this was a move we did growing up. You make your eyes Chinese at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a bad one.
That's the best thing to do.
That's not a bad one.
Use our generation's political incorrectness. I think that is what you have to try.
You make your eyes Chinese at them and be like, oh.
But I think you guys are having like there's a little bit of a divide here with the generations.
You're like 100 years younger than us.
No, I'm younger than you, but I think you're thinking of the teens now as like the woke, like that's my generation.
Oh, did they de-wokeify?
Like my generation.
Now they watch Kill Tony and they're like,
oh, they're
like
back.
My generation is the one that like if I said the F slur, they'd be like, dude, what the fuck? Like not everybody, but that's like where that comes from is people my age. The younger kids, they're calling black dudes the M word on Instagram like constant. Like they don't give a shit.
Oh,
like the high schoolers now are like the devil.
I don't like that.
It's not. I think that at least I think.
No, you're right. I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure that's pretty. I think that's
because
pretty
they saw
accurate.
your generation and they're like pussies.
Yeah, like these guys are fucking pussies.
Like they're seeing how you guys grow. They're like hard times make weak men.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever the adage is.
Yeah,
and it's true. They like the devil's out.
Yeah,
and they have no leader.
No,
their leader is that kid that like does he does videos around New York. The little curly hair blonde kid who like skateboards.
I show speed.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And he's actually their leader.
Yeah.
And he'll like go and like snatch a hot dog out of like an Asian man's mouth or something like that.
I hate that.
Yeah, kids are misbehaving more now than ever.
Can you beat a kid up for doing something like that?
Yeah.
No, you cannot.
In New York, you can.
You can't anymore.
Bro, if a kid took a hot dog from me, I'm caving his face in.
And then a bunch of people from your generation would be like, whoa, leave the kid alone.
Exactly.
God damn.
And kids from our generation would stand over the carcass and do Chinese.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that movie Hostel?
Hostel. It sounds like I have.
The premise was people would get abducted in Eastern Europe and then sent to these torture chambers where wealthy brokers would bid to get a victim. And then they could go in there and there'd be all these tools and things that they could use to torture them.
Sounds like The Purge.
Sounds sweet.
It was just one-on-one, though, I think, by and large.
I don't know. I don't think I've seen that.
So you get to dice and slice someone up and fuck them up.
Yeah, see, I don't have any
tools.
interest in that.
It's a grotesque concept, but I always thought, I didn't always think. I was just thinking that it would be something I would pay for if it were those kinds of teens.
To kill and beat people.
If it were those bad teens, I would pay for a room in some subterranean tunnel in fucking Latvia.
To what? Like just throw fists, or like you want to
No,
like
they're
actually
like
carve them up?
they're chained to a chair, and I get to go
You
through
have like pliers and stuff.
Lowe's or Home
Yeah, no,
Depot.
I don't have any interest in that.
I think that you need to hit up your boy with first. You need to stop buying Hermes and you just start saving your money because this is going to be costly.
That is expensive.
Second, you need to hit up your boy who has $3 billion and ask him, how do you get into those parties?
See, I don't agree with that either, because this is always something you hear, like you're like, all these rich people, like the Diddy parties and stuff, like these rich people, like they have like the Democrats, they're like the top of the Democrats have like people like chained in their basement that they like torture. I don't think that's true.
You didn't see Simon Cowell was the last one to get outed. He was at like a human ritual sacrifice party. There's footage of it.
But so what is it, like you get really rich and then all of a sudden you're like, the only thing I want to do now is just like torture people?
They literally tapped Jack Mack when he hit 1 million followers on TikTok. And they're like, welcome, brother. That was what the whole Kamala interview was about. That was his first time getting tapped. But he said that he wasn't with the ritual humiliation. He said that he wasn't going to wear the dress.
I guess like Armie Hammer did that. You see Armie Hammer has a podcast now?
That's crazy.
With his mom.
It's chalked. The medium is chalked.
I watched the Armie Hammer documentary. It wasn't very interesting. It was kind of just like going back into like his family tree and being like, and his dad was actually a serial killer, and so was his grandfather.
I really don't like documentaries unless something happens while they're filming them.
Yeah.
Oh, good point.
Dude, the Murdaugh documentary like ruined all the other documentaries for me because that one was so good.
Or like Robert Durst, The Jinx.
That was the best
I've
one
heard
ever.
that one's really
You
good.
haven't watched that?
I haven't seen that. That's HBO, right?
You are going to love that.
Because that's
Watch
the first one
part.
where something
try it out.
happens during it.
And then they had to make another part, right?
And there's like a material change in what's happening with the documentary. Because otherwise it's just people telling stories with like a photograph getting slowly zoomed in on. It's like that shit is not.
People, that was what that's what happened with the Russian doping one as well. But I didn't like that one as much, even though everyone else loved it.
Because of the Russians?
It's just, I don't know, wasn't that interesting. I didn't find. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not right.
Mm.
That's not fucking right. I wonder how many Russians listen to our pod. I wonder if we're big over in Mother Rush.
Probably not.
What do you think the Russians think about their leader?
Putin?
Yeah.
I know that they believe in him. They love him. His approval rating's like in the 90s every fucking year.
Yeah. Do you think that there's anybody like social activists?
There are, but they get killed.
But so what about like celebrity social activists? I mean, I know like Pussy Riot was
Yeah.
a decade ago.
They get poisoned with, very slow acting nerve agents.
Yeah, I saw a Russian battle rapper going against. It's an old clip. This guy Oxymiron was like making fun of this dude for being an American Muslim or something. He's like, you wear a flag that like kills your own people or whatever. And I mean, you gotta say the same thing about Russians and stuff like that. I don't know, but they probably have a strong opinion of us, and they're probably propagandized to think that we're all like fat when we're actually like pretty fast.
They are.
And like we have cool sweaters and stuff like that.
Whatever negative shit we think about Russia, they think the inverse of that about us or whatever. They're looking through their own looking glass at us and saying, fuck those people. Do you know what I just learned about though? At some point in the Ukraine war, I think it was in 2022, Elon Musk donated all the Starlink satellites so that the Ukrainians could have internet access and communicate with each other. Because on the eve of Russia attacking Ukraine, they launched a gigantic malware attack on the internet systems of Ukraine, scuttling their entire communication process.
I'm just picturing a Ukrainian dude like clicking his blackout blinds, trying to fucking open it up the morning of. Dude, he was probably steamed.
He probably was,
what
unless
the fuck is this?
he had them done by Joe.
In which case, the battery.
And he was on the analog, and he was like, "I'm going back to sleep because it's still dark."
So the on the eve of
so Musk donated all these. They donated $80 million worth of Starlink satellites and provided the telecommunications. Huh?
What is that? One satellite?
It's a lot more than you'd think. They can carry them in backpacks.
Oh, really?
So it's
Yeah.
not the satellites.
It's like I think
It's
there's
a receiver.
receivers on the ground, but then they have the satellites up in orbit.
Yeah.
I see.
So then all was whatever. He was on board with this, right? Musk was.
Mhm.
And then he's communicating with like Zelensky and their Secretary of War. And
Son of a boy dad listener.
he learns that that the Ukrainians are sending a number of submarines into the Crimean Peninsula, like the waters around Crimea, to blow up the naval fleet of Russia. And Musk knew that that was a red line for Russia.
Yeah.
And that if that happened, it would be their Pearl Harbor and they would respond with a nuclear attack. And when these 6 or 7 submarines got within 100 kilometers of the naval fleet in Russia, he turned off the internet from these Starlink receivers. And they were like, what the fuck happened? And he was like, I'm not letting that happen. I'm not letting the world get closer to nuclear war because of technology that I donated you for defense. And to think that he single-handedly had the power to avert that potential nuclear crisis is
That's fucking insane.
blowing. Isn't that amazing?
That is an incredible story.
And then they called him and they texted him. The Secretary of War texted him. It was like, what the fuck? Our shit's gone down. What's going on? And he was like, yeah, this is not what this was intended for. I'm happy to support you guys in defending your country.
Yeah.
But if you're launching missions to launch offensive attacks that could result in nuclear backlash, I'm not on board with that.
I'm just picturing the Ukrainian dude in the fucking Hunt for Red October trying to fucking press his like automatic blinds for a submarine to go up. What the fuck? I can't see out the periscope. Musk, you fucked us. Not again.
And then they respond and they were like, we get it. Your only interest is in preserving humanity. So
they're like,
we
get
appreciate
it. You're linked to America, and that's where all of our money comes from.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go against you.
That's pretty
Back
crazy
off.
that he even is like allowed to have that power.
Well, he was not happy about it. He was like, this is not what I did this for.
Yeah. that
I
makes
don't, he
sense.
goes, I don't want to be, my technology is not meant to be a trump card in international
Yeah,
wars.
yeah.
It's
He
like
didn't
Albert
want that.
Einstein creating an atom bomb,
Yeah.
or a technology that creates an atom bomb.
Have you heard the theory about aliens? About how they are like this protective force who, whenever there have been, the world has come very close to nuclear war, something has happened at the
No.
last moment that
I
like
haven't heard this.
weird malfunctions of technology
I
or
have that they central like alien encounters or like where they're spotted is almost always centralized over where nukes are, whether
Yeah.
it be in like Montana or like fucking off of Florida. That's always wherever all the concentrations of sightings are, because the theory is that they're attracted to it or they're curious about it.
yeah, and then I'm sure it's a far-fetched kind of hopeful theory, but that they only intervene in human life when we are at risk of destroying ourselves on a global scale.
They're like,
That's interesting.
And
we're
that
not worried about the Japanese.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, fuck the Japanese.
Or maybe they were like,
I
weren't-
thought you intervened.
yeah, they were not paying attention until then, or whatever. I mean, it obviously, who knows? But I like that theory.
Yeah, it's interesting.
most.
Where did you hear about that?
I've heard about it. I've heard about it for quite some time.
I think
there
that's
was,
a common theory. Yeah.
I've never heard of that one.
and there's also, I mean, the most recent, like whatever there was like a testimony to like fucking the house or something like that. Did you see that? And it was basically the same theory. But I've heard from people who are like soldiers who work in the Navy who have like worked on these bases, and they're like, oh yeah, you see stuff all the time.
Interesting. I'm gonna look that up.
It's always people in the Air Force, flying jets, people that in our military who have
Air Force
who
obviously.
have
Yeah.
the interactions with
With the aliens.
UFOs and shit like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You believe, bro?
I believe. Oh, I definitely believe in aliens.
Well, in a weird way, I mean, it's almost a complementary theory that because a lot of people say that Elon Musk is an alien, and that
I see what you did.
Well, he's from South Africa.
Yeah. I mean, obviously.
if he has the ability to avert nuclear war,
Yeah.
that's cool. That kind of fits.
That is super interesting.
Yeah.
What a dumb bastard that Musk is.
All right.
What has he done for us? Oh, you cutting us off again? All right. Harry says we're done.
Hairball.
I have to run.
If anyone out there works in sweaters, we are looking for more embroidered trout, lake bass sweaters for our boy Hairball.
What do you guys want to do for next week? Because we have our episode, our regular episode will come out on Tuesday, but then Thursday is Thanksgiving.
We put something out for the people.
Yeah,
You want to put something out on Thanksgiving, or do you want to
it.
put something out like Friday?
No, I think we put it out on Thanksgiving, and people can save it for when they have to
Dude,
travel
90% of America is traveling on Thanksgiving. Ooh, Francis, let's have a drink when we record our Thanksgiving episode.
All right.
When will that
Sweet.
be? Thursday?
home.
That'll be this Thursday.
Ooh, let's have a drink on Thursday.
I like
Oh,
this
no.
idea.
What the fuck? I have to go to fucking Louisiana on Thursday.
What for?
Pop punk.
Wow.
All right. So it'll be tomorrow.
So we either do it tomorrow or I could maybe do it Thursday morning.
But then
let's
you can't.
make
You
life
don't want to
easier.
have. You
We'll
don't want to have
discuss.
a drink on Thursday morning.
I'm committed to this, bro. It's Thanksgiving.
I'll wear my best sweater.
Just because you quit.
Wear your guys' best sweater for the Thanksgiving episode.
Oh, man. Okay, I'll
Deal.
do it.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
Garrett,
Goodbye.
goodbye.